What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So as you see right here, first ballot Hall of Famer, 3-division world champion, former undisputed lightweight, former WBC junior welterweight, and reigning WBO welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world and is the face of the sport of boxing in today's time, because he's all that gets talked about on a day-to-day basis. And that's Devin the Dream Haney. 33 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. I did a video earlier. I said that they're forming the Super Friends to try to knock Devin Haney down. Another indication that Devin Haney's the face of the sport of boxing. With that said, as you see here, Devin Haney responds to another guy who's one of my favorite fighters and former WBO lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keyshawn the Businessman Davis. And I call him a superstar because Keyshawn Davis in his hometown in Norfolk, Virginia, sold out 10,000 people twice. Second time he didn't fight. First time he got the stoppage victory, right? So first time he showed up and showed out. Second time we know what happened. He missed weight against Edwin De Los Santos and the fight didn't happen, but he still sold out the crowd. That's more than I could say Ryan Garcia has done. But with that said, 14 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. Keyshawn Davis yesterday, as Top Rank, announced that their partnership and their deal with DAZN. They should have been did this, but they announced that they finally got it done. Long overdue. And Keyshawn Davis did interviews. You know, they laid out their roster of fighters. Well, some of their roster of fighters. And Keyshawn Davis was asked what was his future plans, what he wants to do. And he said that he wants to go to 147 and he wants to fight Devin Haney. And here's a word to the wise, right? For these young people. Stop forgetting. I think that they are so naive that they forget that there's receipts. There's a such thing called receipts. And people keep receipts. And Keyshawn went on a tour calling out Devin Haney for quite some time, only for him to turn around and admit, I was calling out Devin Haney, but I wasn't ready, and I knew I wasn't ready. I was just calling him out to use his name, to attach his name to my name, to get attention. He admitted that. He admitted that. And so now he's saying Devin Haney name again. And it came out the blue, right? It just came out the blue because he was focused on 140, and at first it was Tio, and it was this guy. It was Frank Martin, Teofimo Lopez, just to name a few, right? But Devin Haney wasn't in the conversation after he admitted that he wasn't ready for Devin Haney. He was just clout chasing. And now yesterday he's doing it again. Oh, well, I want to fight Devin Haney. I'll go to 147 only for Devin Haney. In the same breath, he's standing there talking about he wants to fight Abdullah Mason and confronting Abdullah Mason, who fights at 135. He fights at 135. And then in the same breath, on stage saying, I got another fight. I got a fight that's going to be announced soon against a guy we have history with. Well, you know that guy is not going to be Devin Haney, and the whole world knows it's not going to be Devin Haney, right? And then he says, I'm going to say Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero is a 50-50 fight because I taught the Rolly all the time. Scooby? You taught the Rolly all the time. So you saying that Devin versus Rolly is a 50-50 fight, and you taught the Rolly all the time on the phone. So you know Rolly and Devin is getting ready to have a fight, like Devin just said. So you know we in negotiations. So you know that's not happening next. And in the same token, you saying that you have a fight coming up against a guy that you have history with and been going back and forth with, and it's finally going to happen. Scooby? After you beat Jermaine Ortiz, you said you would love to fight Louis Crocker first and secure a showdown with Louis Crocker for the IBF title. So that gives you leverage, which I understand, which it gives you leverage in negotiations with Devin Haney. Scooby? And then you said it's not worth going in negotiations with Devin Haney if they don't value you. This is why I said boxing is the Wild Wild West. This is why I said everything is subject to change. And this crop of new generation of young fighters is diabolical to the 10th power. And outside of Devin Haney, right, the future looks very muddy. It looks very, very muddy. Shakur Stevenson says he's going to go to 147, collect all the belts. Now he's talking about people who's trying to force him to go to 147. He said this in 2020. He said, I'm going to eventually go to 147 and collect all the belts. Now people are saying, okay, go to 147. And he's saying these guys are too big and he needs a catch weight or rehydration clause to fight these guys. And that the boxing public and the boxing world is trying to force him to go to 147 when he himself is the one that said that. Teofimo Lopez called everybody of black descent monkeys and all types of racial slurs, only to get wally mopped by Shakur Stevenson. And now he's talking about he wanted to fight Devin Haney after Devin Haney agreed to fight him, and he did an about face and decided not to fight Devin Haney. Thought he was fighting the lesser of two evils in Shakur, who was coming up in weight and he would have an advantage over. Said that he didn't want to fight Devin Haney because His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is Muslim. Devin Haney practiced Muslim beliefs. And so he didn't feel like he could get a fair shake. So he was walking away from that. And only to get demolished, like I said, by Shakur, who he thought he had an advantage over. Ryan Garcia is lying Ryan. We already know what that's about. There's no need to even get into that. We need Jaron Boots Ennis to put his foot down and demand the biggest fights possible. Let's see how that unfolds. The sanction bodies is doing David Benavidez, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster, a disservice and doing him dirty. He can't land the big fights. Canelo got dominated by Terrence Crawford and still wants to cherry pick his way now as he feels like he deserves it. I mean, it's just, you have Abdullah Mason, who has the mindset, but he's only 20, 21 years of age. Devin Haney. Hopefully Jaron Boots Ennis puts his foot to the pedal and starts demanding the big marquee fights, because he hasn't had a marquee fight. He's 28 years old with 35 fights and doesn't have one marquee name on his resume. And he has, to me, no sense of urgency to make those fights happen. He don't mind settling. It's just very bleak. Floyd Mayweather had Kamel Moulton, did nothing with him. Now Kamel Moulton is with Manny Pacquiao Promotions. It's just diabolical, man. I just don't. This sport of boxing is just not in good hands, if you ask me. And the one guy, Devin Haney, I mean, you had Tank Davis said he's retiring. And then he got all these legal issues, which is diabolical as far as the sport goes. The sport is, and Devin Haney is the only one trying to fight for legacy, pushing for the best to fight the best. And he's the one everybody hates because they don't love the sport of boxing. They love the fighters. They are fans of fighters and not fans of the sport of boxing. It's just diabolical. But let me know what y'all think, man. These fighters have to understand that there's receipts. And you can't say stuff and think that it just goes away and then change your mind and get mad at the people for holding you accountable for the things you said. It's diabolical. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, or one word, I'm gone. Peace.